The first report came in on November 12, 2019, from a hiker named Daniel Mills, who claimed he saw a man standing completely still in the middle of Redwood National Forest at dusk, staring at him without blinking for over 10 minutes. That alone wasn't enough to raise alarms. People see strange things in national parks all the time. But what happened in the days that followed still terrifies investigators to this day. Daniel's 911 call was brief. He was out of breath, panicked, almost whispering. "He's not moving. He's not breathing. He's watching me." When officers arrived, they found Daniel shaking uncontrollably beside his parked truck at the trail entrance. He kept repeating one sentence. "He was me. He looked exactly like me." Authorities chalked it up to fear, exhaustion, or a hallucination, until another call came 48 hours later, from a completely different part of the forest, from someone who had never met Daniel, and she reported the exact same thing. Her name was Angela Rios, a college student hiking with her boyfriend. She called the sheriff's department crying, saying someone had been following them through the trees. When dispatch asked how she knew she was being followed, Angela said, "Because he kept stepping where we stepped, same footprints, same pace, same breathing." Then she added, "And when we turned around, he looked exactly like my boyfriend." Her boyfriend insisted he had been walking in front of her the entire time. But she swore, with absolute terror, that the stranger behind them wore his exact clothes from that morning. Except his eyes weren't right. Angela described them as too dark, like black glass, no light in them at all. When the couple turned to face the stranger, it slowly stepped behind a tree, but never came out the other side. Search teams found no footprints, no broken twigs, no trail indentations, no sign anyone had ever been there. Angela's boyfriend was cleared. Their stories matched perfectly. Still, investigators assumed it was fear-induced misidentification. Until the third case. The case that made the department open an official file labeled Redwood Stranger, Do Not Close. On December 1st, an off-duty firefighter named Patrick Lauren sent his wife a text message at 6:17 p.m. while returning from a solo mountain run. The text read, "Someone's ahead of me. Looks like me. Same jacket, same backpack. But I haven't caught up to him. He keeps disappearing behind the trees." His wife replied instantly, "Please just come home." Patrick never responded. At 9:14 p.m., hikers found his backpack on the trail, completely unzipped. His phone was inside, still recording audio. Detective Marla Sutton was assigned the case. She was known for being ruthlessly logical, the type who didn't believe in ghosts or myths or any kind of supernatural nonsense. When she pressed play on Patrick's recording, she expected wind, footsteps, maybe a struggle. She did not expect what she heard. First, footsteps. Regular, calm. Then Patrick whispered, "He's right there." A few seconds of silence. Then, "He's turning." A long pause. Then Patrick began to breathe faster. And then the audio caught something chilling. Two voices, both of them whispering the same sentence at the same time. "Where are you running?" One voice was Patrick's. The other also sounded like Patrick, but deeper, hollow, like it came from a chest that didn't have lungs anymore. The recording ends with the sound of Patrick running, crashing through branches until a final gasp. "It smiled." Then a sharp click. Recording ends. Patrick was never found, not even a piece of clothing. The temperature was above freezing that night. No animal tracks nearby, no signs of a fall. Just gone. Vanished. Like the forest swallowed him. Detective Sutton requested more manpower. The county sheriff refused. Budget cuts. Not enough evidence. Sutton ignored them. She camped out near the trailhead alone, with thermal cameras, night vision, and 3 external mics. On her third night, she picked up movement. At 3:11 a.m., her northeast microphone caught a human-like cough. But here's the disturbing part. All 3 microphones captured it at the exact same time, as if the sound didn't come from one direction, but from everywhere. She wrote in her case notes, "Sound localization impossible, no echo, no wind distortion," like something was imitating a cough rather than producing it. At 3:17 a.m., her thermal camera picked up a figure standing between the redwoods. No heat signature, just a silhouette, human-shaped, still, not moving. She zoomed in and saw a face. Her own face. Exactly her face. Same cheek scar from a bicycle accident at 12. Same mole under the chin. Same eyebrows. But its eyes were black, reflective, empty. Detective Sutton froze, and then the figure lifted a finger, her own finger, and pressed it to its lips. Shh. Sutton ran. She abandoned the equipment, her notes, her backpack. She didn't stop running until sunrise. Her superiors called her unstable. She refused to return, but she did file an official statement. It wasn't mimicking me, it was studying me, and when it smiled, it didn't smile with its mouth, it smiled with its entire face. The Redwood stranger case went cold for 2 months, until February, when someone found the missing firefighter's thermal camera in the forest, snapped clean in half. The last recorded frame shows a human figure behind him, not running, not walking, just appearing, only the head visible, half a face, just enough to identify. It was Patrick, or a perfect copy, and the eyes, black, again. The case exploded online. Forums called the entity the Redwood doppelganger, the shadow twin, the Redwood's echo, the faceless copy, though it clearly had a face, the silent walker. Dozens of hikers claimed sightings. Some described seeing themselves walking alongside them. Some saw their spouse stepping into the fog, only to realize their spouse was still behind them. One kid claimed he saw another version of Dad crouching behind a fallen tree, smiling too wide. Authorities dismissed most of it as panic, but the strangest evidence came from a forest ranger's body cam. Ranger Paul Breyer uploaded a video of what he thought was a lost camper standing still in the woods, but when he zoomed in, the figure turned suddenly, fast, too fast, and Breyer saw his own face staring back at him. The video glitch shuttered, frame tore, audio warped. Then the figure stepped sideways, directly behind a tree, and vanished. Paul quit the next day. So what is the Redwood stranger? Some believe it's a hallucination caused by carbon monoxide pockets trapped in the forest floor. Some say it's a psychological phenomenon, the brain reflecting fear outward. Some say it's a cryptid, a shapeshifter, a predator that mimics what you trust most. But the most chilling theory comes from Detective Sutton, who wrote a private note before leaving the force. It doesn't mimic you to replace you. It mimics you to follow you home. To this day, the Redwood stranger remains unsolved. No bodies were ever recovered, no conclusive photos, no DNA, no footprints that match a living person. But every now and then, a new hiker files a report. Someone walking ahead of them on the trail, wearing their clothes, matching their step, tilting their head the same way. And sometimes, at dusk, when the forest goes silent, someone sees themselves staring back, not blinking, not breathing, just watching, waiting. The last tenant to live in apartment 6B was named Rachel Hart, a 29-year-old paralegal who moved into Oak Ridge Towers in Portland for its quiet, low-rent reputation. She lasted only 17 days. Her disappearance is one of the most unsettling open cases the Portland Police Bureau has, because her last night inside apartment 6B was recorded, and the apartment responded to her. It began with a noise complaint. On January 4th, 2020, the downstairs neighbor, Mrs. Penny, called the building manager at 2:23 a.m., complaining that Rachel was walking back and forth, pacing hard enough to shake the ceiling. The manager knocked on Rachel's door. No answer. He assumed she was asleep. But at 3:01 a.m., another complaint came in. This time from the tenant across the hall, Mr. Haley, who said, "I heard her talking to someone," but the replies didn't sound human. When pressed about the meaning of "not human," Haley refused to elaborate. The next morning, the manager came up to check on her. The apartment was locked from the inside. Nobody answered. He assumed she'd gone to work. Rachel never arrived at work that day, or ever again. Police entered the unit at 7:42 p.m. Rachel's wallet sat on the counter. Her phone was plugged in near the bed, her keys on the coffee table. But she was gone. The bathroom light was on, a cup of tea still warm, as if she had stepped out seconds earlier. Nothing suggested a struggle. Except one thing. Her laptop was open, frozen on a voice recording app. A single audio file sat on the screen. 6B, 3:17 a.m. .wave. Detective Calvin Mercer, who led the case, pressed play. The audio still haunts him to this day. At first, there was silence. Then Rachel's shaky voice. Okay, it happened again. The knocking. But it's not coming from the hallway. It's inside the walls. A few seconds of tapping followed. Then Rachel whispered, "Hello?" A whisper responded, but it was not Rachel's voice. It was deeper, slower, wrong, but it spoke the same word. "Hello?" Mercer rewound 3 times. It wasn't an echo, not a reflection, not an audio glitch. It was a reply, a deliberate one. Rachel continued, "Can you hear me?" The voice replied, "Hear me." Detective Mercer scribbled a note. Not mimicry, intelligent delay, meaningful repetition. The recording continued. Rachel sounded frustrated, almost angry. "Say something else. Say anything else." Silence. Then the voice. "Come here." A loud crash startled her. The audio captured her breathing hard, walking toward the living room. She whispered, "What do you want?" This time the voice did not mimic. It spoke. "Look behind you." The audio crackled sharply. Something fell. Rachel screamed. Then the file ended. That was all. No struggle, no final words, no break in the recording. Just an abrupt end, like someone pressed stop. Police swept the apartment for evidence. The strange part? Every surface was clean. Too clean. Mercer said it looked professionally wiped, like someone removed every print except hers. But forensic techs found something disturbing behind the drywall. They cut a section near the living room floor and pulled out a charred piece of old insulation. On the insulation were scratch marks, human fingernails, embedded deep. And next to the scratches, written in ash, "Help me." But here's where things got worse. Forensic examiners confirmed the handwriting was Rachel's. The problem? The message was written on the inside of the wall, where no human should have been able to reach. Neighbors gave conflicting statements. Mrs. Penny, the downstairs tenant, insisted she heard Rachel pacing between 3 and 3:20 a.m. But Mr. Haley across the hall said he saw Rachel leave the apartment at 3:12 a.m., wearing a hoodie and walking calmly down the hallway. When police pulled the hallway camera from that night, they saw something impossible. At 3:12 a.m., Rachel walked out of her apartment, clear as day. No hoodie. She wore pajamas. Barefoot. She looked directly into the hallway camera, expression blank. She walked down the hall and turned the corner. Mercer froze the frame. Rachel's reflection in the hallway window was delayed, half a second behind her movements, like a buffering video. He zoomed in. That's when he noticed something even stranger. Her pupils were completely black. No whites of the eyes visible, as if she had no irises. Mercer swore out loud and had the tech rewind. When they watched the clip again, the reflection still lagged, but something else changed. In the final frame, right before she walked out of view, Rachel's reflection did not follow her. It remained standing still, watching her leave. Panicked, Mercer radioed his partner. "Check the stairwell. Check now." Officers searched the entire building. Rachel was not in the stairwell, not in the lobby, not outside. She had vanished in 12 seconds, as if she stepped into thin air. Detective Mercer became obsessed with the case. He requested a special inspection of the building. Contractors discovered something horrifying. Behind the drywall of apartment 6B was a hidden cavity, a narrow space between walls that shouldn't exist according to building plans. Inside it were objects: a torn scrap of a pajama sleeve, a clump of hair, fingernail fragments, charcoal marks, and a handprint. A perfect handprint. Too perfect. No smudging, no distortion. Like someone pressed a warm hand into soft plaster and it hardened instantly. Except Rachel had no access to that space, and the handprint was bigger than hers. A lot bigger. It belonged to no one in the building. 3 days after Rachel disappeared, her phone unlocked itself at 3:17 a.m. Her sister, who still had access to Rachel's cloud account, saw a new voicemail appear from Rachel's own number. Shaking, she pressed play. It was only 4 seconds long, Rachel whispering, "I'm still inside." Police traced the voicemail. The signal originated from inside apartment 6B, but the apartment was sealed, empty, vacant, under investigation. No one entered, no one left. Yet the voicemail came from inside it. Mercer ordered a second sweep. He entered the apartment with 2 officers. As they walked in, the living room light flickered. Once, twice, then went out completely. The officers drew their weapons. Mercer called out, "Rachel, if you're here, call out." Silence. Then the wall behind the TV made a sound, a faint tapping, 3 taps, then a whisper. Not Rachel, not anyone they recognized, just a low, drawn-out, "Look." Mercer swallowed hard and stepped toward the sound. He pressed his ear to the wall. A whisper came through the drywall as if someone were inches away on the other side. "Behind you." Mercer spun around instantly, gun raised, but no one was there. The officers reported feeling a sudden drop in temperature, breath visible, air thick and heavy. Mercer ordered everyone out. That was the last time he entered 6B. The case was declared unsolved, suspicious circumstances. The building was condemned 9 months later. A new ownership group renovated the entire structure. Apartment 6B was gutted to studs. But workers reported strange phenomena. Tools disappearing, voices calling their names, someone knocking from inside the walls, a woman crying behind sealed plaster, night shift crews refusing to work alone. One worker quit on the spot after demolishing the living room drywall. He claimed he saw a shape inside the empty cavity, a crouched figure, thin, gray, hunched. Its head snapped toward him, and it spoke in a woman's voice. "Help me." He ran out screaming and never returned. Those who heard his story said the voice he described sounded exactly like Rachel Hart. Construction eventually halted. The apartment remains sealed today. A metal plate bolted over where the door once stood. Unmarked, unmentioned. But some nights, especially around 3:17 a.m., residents swear they can hear tapping from behind the plate. 3 taps, then a whisper, "Hello." The case of Elliot Granger is one of those files detectives refuse to talk about even years later, not because it was gruesome, not because it was complicated, but because Elliot did something that shouldn't be possible. He appeared in every camera inside his apartment, and then vanished from all of them at the same time. The last recorded footage of him is still classified. Elliot was a 34-year-old IT engineer living in Spokane, Washington. Quiet, routine-driven, never late to work, never missed a bill. His coworkers said the most unusual thing about him was how punctual he was, which is why, when he didn't show up for work on May 22, 2021, everyone noticed. His boss called, no answer. His neighbor knocked, no answer. When police performed a welfare check, they found all 3 locks engaged from the inside and Elliot's car still in the parking lot. They expected to find Elliot asleep, sick, or on the floor. Instead, they found an apartment frozen in time, breakfast still on the counter, laptop open, coffee warm, bedroom lights on, shower dry. But Elliot was gone. Not a single sign of struggle, No blood, no broken furniture, no forced entry. It was as if he stepped out of existence while doing nothing more dramatic than making toast. Then, investigators found his internal camera system. That's when the case became something else, something no one could explain. Elliot had installed 6 indoor cameras: bedroom, hallway, living room, kitchen, balcony, office. All synced, all timestamped, all online. Detective Harper Lowell pulled the footage for the 24 hours leading to Elliot's disappearance. For the first few hours, everything looked normal. Elliot woke at 6:41 a.m., showered, fed his cat, typed on his laptop for a while, drank coffee. Then, at 9:14 a.m., something small but unsettling happened. In the living room camera, Elliot walked through the frame. But in the kitchen camera, the next camera he should have walked into, he didn't appear. Harper rewound twice. Same result. Camera 1, Elliot walking into the living room. Camera 2, empty kitchen. No Elliot. It was like he didn't continue his path. Instead, he simply wasn't there. But 10 seconds later, he appeared in the hallway camera, walking normally. Harper frowned. Maybe he doubled back, she suggested. But when the tech team synced the 3 videos side by side, the truth became impossible to ignore. Elliot's body never turned around, never paused, never reversed. His body vanished between camera frames and reappeared somewhere he physically couldn't reach in time. Timestamp confirmed it. The hallway was 20 feet away. Elliot covered that distance in 0.9 seconds. Impossible. Harper's partner muttered, "No one moves that fast." This was the first anomaly. There were many more. At 10:32 a.m., Elliot was in his office typing. Then the office camera glitched for 1 second. When the feed returned, Elliot was gone. Not walked out, not stood up, not moved. The chair was still spinning. Harper checked the hallway cam. No Elliot. Checked the kitchen. No Elliot. Checked the balcony. Empty. Checked the front door. Locked from the inside. Checked the bedroom. Nothing. But at 10:33 a.m. on the living room cam, Elliot walked into frame from the wrong direction. From a wall. Like he stepped out of it. Harper paused the frame. Zoomed. Rewound. Zoomed again. There was no doorway, no closet, no shadow. He simply stepped forward into the room as if emerging from solid drywall. The footage wasn't tampered with. Metadata clean. Timecode stable. Harper wrote her first private note. Subject appears to be re-entering space from unknown entry point. Physics inconsistent with human movement. Then things got worse. Much worse. At 11:09 a.m., Elliot stood in his kitchen staring at the counter, unmoving, completely still for nearly 8 minutes. The apartment was silent except for the hum of the refrigerator. Then Elliot did something strange. He turned, looked directly into the kitchen camera, and smiled. Not a warm smile, not a friendly one. A slow, tight, unnatural smile. The kind people make when they're forcing themselves to pretend they're okay. Harper leaned forward. Does he normally smile at his cameras? No, Tech said. He never interacts with them. Ever. Harper noted the timestamp. Elliot was staring at the camera at 11:17:42 a.m. She pulled the hallway cam feed for the same moment. Hallway feed also showed Elliot, standing in the hall, staring into that camera at the exact same second. Harper felt her skin crawl. Is that? Yes, Tech said. He's in 2 places at once. They checked the living room camera. Elliot was there too. 3 Elliots, same timestamp, all perfectly still, all staring at the cameras. Harper whispered, "What is going on in this apartment?" No one answered. The footage from 11:17 a.m. to 11:18 a.m. remains one of the most disturbing minutes in unsolved case history. Every camera showed Elliot, not moving, not blinking, not breathing, just standing in every room. The real Elliot, somewhere, existed too, because the bedroom cam captured him walking slowly toward his bed, while the kitchen cam showed him standing still, and the hallway cam showed him staring, and the office cam showed him sitting, and the living room cam showed him smiling at the lens. 6 Elliots, simultaneously, all doing different things. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Harper demanded audio playback. The tech played the room audio. All 6 feeds contained whispers, but not 6 voices. One voice split 6 ways, repeating a phrase over and over. "He sees me." Harper froze. Who is he referring to? Who sees him? No one knew. Then something new happened. Every Elliot on the cameras, all 6, turned their heads at the exact same instant, towards something outside the camera frames. A perfect synchronized movement. Then, every camera glitched. Static, screen tearing, and the kitchen camera captured the last clear image of Elliot Granger anyone has ever seen. He walked toward the lens, close enough to fog the glass, and whispered something. The audio tech enhanced it, slowed it down, removed distortion. What Elliot whispered was, "He's here." Then the screen went black. All cameras went offline. Power to the entire apartment cut out. When officers arrived within 7 minutes, the apartment was empty and silent. Too silent. Detective Harper said the air felt electrically charged, like being under a power line. They searched for Elliot for 9 hours. They found no fingerprints except his, no forced entry, no exit routes, no open windows, no broken locks, no unknown DNA. But they did find one bizarre detail. The dust along the baseboards, which hadn't been disturbed in months, had footprints in it. Bare footprints, but not Elliot's. These prints were too long, too narrow, too deep, as if someone had been crawling along the walls. They also found a scorch mark on the wall panel near the living room cam, a melted circle, 9 inches in diameter. No burn source identified. Lab analysis said the scorch was caused by heat exceeding 900 degrees Fahrenheit from inside the wall cavity. Inside the wall. Harper dropped the report. What the hell was in that apartment? No one had an answer. Still doesn't. The case file remains open, active, unsolved. Elliot Granger remains missing. No body, no sightings, no financial activity, no calls, no digital presence, nothing. But every few months, Elliot's sister gets a strange call. Blocked number, no caller ID. When she picks up, she hears static and a faint whisper. "I'm still here." Police traced one of the calls. It pinged from Elliot's apartment, 2 years after he vanished. But the apartment has been empty, sealed, and padlocked since the night he disappeared. And sometimes, late at night, motion sensors inside still activate, capturing a silhouette in the dark. Tall, still, staring at all 6 cameras at once, then disappearing without a trace.